Together with friends along the way, united with strength to face the day. We're together and now we're here to say, united we will be the change.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Monday, 5 p.m.-ish for Above and Beyond the Accessibility and Inclusion podcast for Monday, June 19th. Maddy, how are you?
I'm okay. I've been fighting a battle with my computer in Zoom for the last 2 hours, so I decided to reboot it, and now it seems nice to me. So I have a long background in IT, but every once in a while, the computer decides to just give me the finger, and so I'm a little stressed out because I had a good meeting that I was supposed to be on, and it was really challenging to be part of because I could hear everybody in the Zoom, I could hear them talking, I could see them talking, but I couldn't talk, and half the time I couldn't even put things in the chat box. So it was a lot of I need to still be calm. I can't participate, but I'll be calm, and it made me realize that there's a lot of people that struggle with being able to communicate verbally. They can't speak, and sometimes they're moments sometimes that it's a function, and whether it's somebody who needs closed caption, or somebody who needs sign language, somebody who needs braille. There's so many different ways that we take for granted that we can communicate. And so I was just a little frustrated today. It's just a taste of what people experience when there's a barrier to communication.
Absolutely.
So wrapped all that into it.
Absolutely. And I've had those communication barriers pretty much happen to me all weekend. But before we get into that, Maddy, I've got to ask, how's the weather?
It's nice and warm here, but it's I don't want it to be too hot.
I hear you. And so let's talk about communication and barriers for a second.
Okay.
It's been an interesting couple of days, and people, I've held no punches back with regards to my situation with darts and whatnot. And over the last weekend or so, it's been not bad. All things considered, it's been pretty decent. And yes, I was at the Ticats game last night. We got home very late because of the fact that the exhibition station has elevators that are still down.
Yeah. I hit
so,
that a month ago. I hit that exact thing a month ago. It took me 3 hours out of my way. Missed the last bus. Yeah.
So, well, they have a shuttle. They what?
Yeah.
All things considered, it wasn't too bad. They shuttled us from one side of the area to the other to make the train that we needed to make to get back. But it was interesting, and then heading down there, and through no fault of Go Transit's, there was an incident, rather a fatality, on the tracks that we were going to board, and that we had to pivot going from the Aldershot GO station to the Appleby GO station. And so that kind of threw a wrench in everybody's plans, but all things considered, that was the first time I've been in a GO bus in a while, and wow, the accessibility in the GO bus has changed since I've been on a GO bus. You know what? I'm gonna go in between. Because I mean, I thought it was a lot better since the last time I've been on a GO bus, but at the same time, I really didn't get enough time to assess it because I was still on the emotions of feeling everything that was going on.
Yeah.
notwithstanding the fact that what happened, but I was in a rush to get to where we need to be. We got there.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fine.
The
The
Ticats
Ticats
lost.
lost. You looked that up ahead of time, didn't you?
Oh, I get notified now.
Oh, is that what we're gonna do now? Is that what we're
I'm
doing
watching
now?
both the Ticats and the Red Blacks, and so yeah, all leading up to July 8th.
All leading up to July 8th. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit, Maddie.
Yeah.
So the week itself has been quite interesting. Just with just random things happening. With the brand and all that. Just what? It was a calmer, typical week, and I can appreciate that. Well, how about you? What's happening? What's been going on this week?
This coming week is this coming weekend, I am going to Toronto. And I'm going to the Halton Pride event in Halton, Ontario on Saturday, and I'm going to Toronto Pride on Sunday. Yeah. So I'm going to be very full of the rainbows. So
wonderful.
Colorful. I'm pimping up my wheelchair to very much taste the rainbow.
Wonderful. No, that's really good, and that'll be a fun time, I imagine.
Yeah.
We got another Ticat game on Friday, which is scary. But no, I don't know. I think I don't know. It feels like a weird week because it's just been go, and we've been keeping in correspondence with our friends from Toronto, from the construction zoning and whatnot. We've got something happening later on this month, but I don't know, Matty. I feel like I don't necessarily have a rant in me today.
I don't either. It's the issue I have that's been bothering me is people that don't stop at the white lines. Like when cars don't stop, when they sort of roll into it, there's no way they can see pedestrians on the right when they do that. They're looking for the road. They roll in and then start looking. And I've had so many close calls, funnily enough, I mean, I was hit by a car 2 weeks ago, and that wasn't the issue. The issue was he stopped but didn't look right before he went forward and hit me. I moved because he stopped. Boom, hit me, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't even see you there," because we're so low down. Mm-hmm. I've been hit, not hit. Okay, so bad use of words. I've been struck. I have noticed strongly that the pedestrian area where we need to be most of the time when we're in wheelchairs, because the roads, if the road's not safe, well, you go on the sidewalk. Sidewalks are horrible, so I try to avoid them. But there's places I need to be. But those places, they're designed for pedestrians and cars that look up. We are too low to the ground in many cases for cars to see us where the lines are posted. And it's just yet another one of those things that's probably, well, it's the specification. It's the minimum, we've hit the minimum standard. This is what the code says that we're doing, and we're doing it right. But if drivers of cars are telling me that they can't see at all in an intersection unless they proceed through it, which, first of all, you can stop and proceed, that's a totally different thing. Like if where the line isn't right, then we need to look at how do we redesign the buildings around it and the sidewalks around it. We can't just, it's, I don't know how many times I've come close to being hit because of this, because I get there, I have the right of way because I'm going forward. There's no stop sign on my way. I always slow down, and inevitably a car's charging towards the stop sign and starts slowing down as they roll through it and not see me. And it's only when I go, hey, that they go, oh, and then they reverse back so I can actually enter through the thing. It happens so many times a day, but ever since I got hit, like I'm really way more on edge about rolling around in the wheelchair, and I shouldn't have to be, but it's like even today, there's one particular intersection in our town that almost every single time I get there, as I'm rolling up to it, a car goes in front of me and doesn't stop. They just roll, and they're trying to roll so that they can see there's nobody coming and continue onwards while they still have momentum. Today, just on the way home to do this live, it was a car that was not, as I was approaching it, as I was less than 50 meters from the curb, there was no car in my sight down the road, and it appears, rolls in front of me, and slams its brakes when I say, hey. So I think it's why I'm on edge, because this just happened like half an hour, 40 minutes ago. But it happens all the time, every day. And I don't know, like it's more than an accessibility issue, but as people in wheelchairs, we hit it a lot. We come across it a lot.
Well,
and
yeah,
it's an attitude issue. This is a significant attitude issue that I posted about this on Facebook, and every second, half the time I posted it, I get like real shit on. It's like, well, you're supposed to stop. Like, never, like, always trying to find a way of justifying the fact that they can't see, so they're allowed to do it. But it's like, white line, stop in front of, not stop on, not stop in front of, like on the other side of, and not stop. All right, I'll stop ranting. You can respond, because this one is a huge challenge.
I think that Maddie, and I'm sorry that that's happened to you, but it begs the question. They always say that people with disabilities, and it's the pedestrians that need to look out. But why not the mobility or the motor vehicle device users have some sort of like a common, whether it be like a signal or something like that, or some sort of way for those who use motor vehicle devices to see us.
Yeah,
because we are lower to the ground. But does that mean we need to be sheltered and closed in and exactly?
Yeah,
Exactly.
wheelchair
Does that
call.
mean we
Exactly.
right? Like, does that mean we've got to find a way
Yeah.
so that all persons can travel accessibly, like the elevator example.
Nobody can hear my horn on my wheelchair. It's like
Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky,
It's
squeaky.
horrible. It's just like it's my voice, which I can't raise, is louder than the horn. And when I today, oh my gosh, I was going across our bridge, and there was a family, two mothers, two kids, and somebody had a skateboard attached to a thing so that you couldn't pass it at all. And they're going so slow, and I'm going, hello, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. I'm like, I just guess I gotta go like 1 kilometer an hour behind these guys. It wasn't until somebody behind me passed me and said, hey guys, somebody's trying to get by here in a wheelchair. It's like, oh, it's like 2x2. No, don't walk 2x2, except in a, sorry, a lot of things. This, I guess, okay, I have a ranty day today. It's not normally that I always rant, but like, I don't know. I'm just,
Hey, you know
Continue.
what? that reminds me of a story a couple weeks ago at our local mall where we were going through an aisle, and then this lady decided to stop and take a look at a product, whatever. And I was behind her. I had my bundle buggy, and I was just waiting for her to like give me a way around because I really didn't have it because the aisle kind of struck there, and then on the other side there was a little bit of barrier. So I tongue in cheekly looked at the cashier who was on my left, and I said, "We must be at a stoplight." So it it's kind of one of those things where it's how do we solve that? How do we solve that solution? And what do we do to make what do we do to make it
Oh, I
work?
know. Today, also on the way home, I, this was a momentous the way home today. I was at the main busy street that I have to cross from our side street to go north to get across, and I'm waiting at the pedestrian crosswalk lines. We don't in that particular one there wasn't a thick line, but I basically follow I'll be at the pedestrian crosswalk, but not on it because I don't want to block traffic either. So I'm there, and a van pulls up beside me, also going straight, fully over the intersection to the
Well,
point where I have the right of way, but I could no longer see the road because the big truck's monstrosity was like had entered into it. And I pulled up and looked at him and said, "Look, I'm going." And he then reversed backwards sheepishly, like Homer into the bush. But it was like, oh my gosh, you're actually like putting me into a severely dangerous place by doing this and breaking the law and not waiting. You don't have the right of way. Oh,
yeah,
it's
without
all the
without
same thing. It's like all these. Like it's the same thing about like the attitude that drivers have that the everything's just all the lines and signs and posts and all of these things are all just guidelines. They're not
following, yeah,
fixed things.
minimum
So they
standards.
yeah, but you know what? I learned about gliding to rolling red stops once when I got pulled over for doing it, and my daughter was 8 in the car, and she never let me forget that. Like, well, that you didn't actually stop. You do and did roll. It's like, oh, okay. So and now I tell her about that because she's a driver.
No,
Yeah, but it's like I learned, and so ever since that point, it's these rules. We don't have enough police to capture every single person at every single thing,
no,
but because it doesn't happen that much at all, except for really serious things for cars, the things that are really serious for us are also getting missed. So people have this attitude that they're entitled to like that out of all of the laws we have, the laws of the road are not all that real. And even if you get caught, well, you can you can get it reduced and whatnot. And it's this mentality um kills people. It
absolutely.
literally kills people.
Yeah, people have a tendency to just feel like they're invincible.
Yeah.
And we're not like and it begs a question, and it puts people with disabilities at their perceived level of quote unquote liability.
Oh
You
God. Yeah.
know, you know,
Yeah.
you know, and it, we've got to find a way to be more equitable in our community and allow people with disabilities autonomy, agency, dignity, and respect,
Yeah.
among other things. And it just
Yeah.
feels like when you're in a position like that, Maddie, when I'm in positions, fighting for what I fight for, and I'm not saying the D word today because I'm going to have a D word free day. Um, yeah, it's troublesome where people are dictating who you are, and where you've come from before you've even been given a chance.
Yeah.
and that's one of the most frustrating parts of, it's the ableism, it's the elitism, it's the attitudinal barriers that we talk about.
Yeah.
It's the compliance.
It's the attitude that why should I have to change anything that I do to make somebody else's life easier? It's like why, another great example of this is, why isn't accessibility, always considered when you're looking at, diversity, equity, and inclusion? Like, accessibility and accommodations are not generally part of that, and we tend to find we actually tend to get excluded from many conversations of that kind of diversity and that kind of inclusion, because we're okay with doing things. We're okay with putting our mind and our effort on talking about things that will change things. But when it comes to us having to change to make those things happen, that's where people struggle with. And that's again, I've been having been really attacked in my local Facebook group that I had never been attacked on before for saying very similar things. It's realizing that when it comes to driving, people are very possessive about their right to drive the way they want to drive, and cannot empathize for people in different positions. I don't know how many people have told me, well, you shouldn't be on the road anyways. It's like, well, yes, actually, if we look at our town bylaws, they would prefer wheelchairs being on the road as close to the curb as possible. And there's so many restrictions on if we're on the. Okay, interestingly enough, I was reading these bylaws for another reason this morning. If I'm on the sidewalk, I have to be for the full right. If there's oncoming pedestrians, I need to get off the sidewalk to let them pass, which is freaking ridiculous. And I am going to write to my counselors and say, this is absolute. Wheelchairs can't get off sidewalks. People can go on grass. This is
a double standard
wheelchair bylaw. And there's so much I could spend an hour or 3 hours talking about these things that are required for wheelchair users in our bylaw that I do not believe are in any other place in this universe.
I certainly want to take a look myself.
I'll send it to you. It's so ableist. It is just, and it's so.
Well,
ridiculous.
And that goes with the perspective of people.
Like, if I have to do these things, why shouldn't all drivers have to do the things that are actually in the Motor Vehicle Act? Like, stop at the freaking white lines. No rolling stops.
It's that horrible G word. It's a guideline. or people perceive it as a guideline.
But they treat it as one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. It's things that aren't enforced enough, right? Like AODA. Things that don't have enforcement teeth to it. People will not do it, all right? Or many people will not do it. We're going to get lots of, like, we'll probably get a lot of what about us is like we do it, kind of stuff. It's other people. Yes, I would say that a good number of drivers are very aware of the rules and laws, and they follow them for the most part. But there's a large number of people, and I'm not going to say majority. Maybe it is majority. I don't have the ability to quantify it. All I know is that I get nearly hit every day, every intersection. So it's pretty common. Like, I actually took a video 5 minutes at this one intersection, and all but one car did a rolling thing over the white line. And the reaction I got from people wasn't, "Oh, that's bad." It's, "You're hiding. How are they supposed to see you? Doesn't matter if anybody's there or not. You stop."
Yep.
That's the whole point. You stop.
That's the whole point of the white line.
It's not about, I'm not hiding. Yes, I was trying to show it in a way that showed what people were like when they thought that no one was around. It's because that's the way they drive almost all the other time. If you drive one way when you think people aren't looking, you're going to more and more and more drive that way, even if people are looking, because that becomes your habit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's
it is so ridiculous.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Like I just I can't understand for the life of me like how people with disabilities are pretty much kind of just just being treated that's right. I like that. That's as second class citizens.
Yeah.
Like we really need to continue to develop our worth in the lived experience realm, which is what you do, which is what I do. And Maddy, I know we're short for time, so I just want to say thank you, Maddy, and thank you to everybody who's listening, whether it be live or on the replay. This is it's a big week for me, Maddy, because bittersweet as the final episode of Above and Beyond airs starting tonight with Phil Hauser, owner of Hauser's Pharmacy, and we talked about home healthcare, pharmaceuticals, and the development of solutions-based approach to meet needs of people with disabilities. Mm-hmm. And so it was a very interesting conversation. Debuts tonight at 8:30 on Cable 14 and Cable14.com.
And I understand that they sponsor the closed captioning of the program.
They certainly did. Very much appreciative to Phil and Hauser's Pharmacy for sponsoring the closed captioning for this season. What else is going on? I have no idea anymore. So we've got our Facebook tonight, Maddy, which is interesting. I got an interesting event happening at 11 a.m. on Thursday. That is we're doing a curb cut assessment because a couple weeks ago, I want to say it was June. What day are we at? June 10th. I want to say. Yeah, June 10th. There was this Concession Street Fest that yours truly took a tumble down a curb cut.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That didn't go well. Counselors came to support. And we reached out immediately, and they've reached out back. And they've assured us that it was going to be done as of last Friday. Mm-hmm. So us being the due diligence monsters that we are, we're going to go check it out and ensure that it is done. To exceed minimum standards.
Yeah.
And exceed compliance. So that's going to be interesting. And then back to Tim Hortons Field on Friday. Mm-hmm. Ticats home opener. We're 0-2. We got the Owls. I'm excited to be back at home. Talk to all my friends and people that I know. Yep. So,
and I'll be in Toronto with both the Halton Pride and the Toronto Pride. I'm looking forward to that. Just having a weekend where my wheelchair can taste the rainbow.
Love it. If I can try to make it this weekend, Maddy, I will. Keep in touch.
I will
for sure. And as always, guys, we are always here Mondays at 5 p.m. ish on our respective Facebook channels. You can catch us if you've got any ideas or something that you guys want us to talk about. Send us an email at aboveandbeyondthepodcast@gmail.com. I'm at aboveandbeyond.AnthonyFrisian on Facebook, at aboveandbeyond for you on Twitter, at Anthony_Frisian on Twitter. Maddy's at Maddy Dever on Twitter, at AutisticRambler.com. Theme song, as always, thanks to Garrett LaJoie, Natalia DeHaan, Nick Hurst, Tyrell Crawford for together our theme song for the show and Above and Beyond. One thing, finally, Maddy, I want to mention that when we are closing with the final episode airing of Above and Beyond this week, I am coming back with a brand new season. We're starting taping in September. I've got a lot of ideas. Maddy, you stay tuned. I'm going to need your support for a bunch of them, and we're going to make it happen. Until next time, guys, you take care. Always good to talk to you guys. See you next time.
See you next time.
Together.